If you're feeling uninspired by what you do at the moment, then in this video, what I want to share with you are 3 principles on how you can raise your job satisfaction without denying yourself, without faking it, and definitely without starting from scratch. So by the way, if this topic is relevant to you, give me a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe to my channel as well, because every single week I release videos on topics like this and so much more to help you to achieve vocational empowerment. So I'm going to be sharing with you 3 principles and also what is the action step moving forward. So ready? Principle number 1 is presumptions of values determines thoughts. So what do we mean by that? Most of the time when we go through life being told what to do, being told who to become, being told what career path to make in some way or the other. And we may not be aware of it. And so what happens over the years as we are working in our industries or working hard towards our education and after that our career path, at some point, sometimes we might find ourselves in a situation where I don't know how I ended up here. And we might say to ourselves, if I were to start all the way over again, this is not the same career path I would choose. I would have done something different, but I don't know what I would have done. And see, I wanted to bring this to light because when it comes to our own values, oftentimes we take what other people have valued and we adopt it as our own without questioning it. And as a result of that, this is what happens later in life where we don't really see how this particular career path or our particular job is serving us, or how it's fulfilling us, or how it's helping us to build a life that we really are inspired by. So if you find that these are the questions you've been asking yourself, I'm not saying that you need to change career paths or that this isn't the right career path for you, but the first step is that if our presumptions of our values are predetermining our thoughts, how do we understand what it is we value? So this is where you take a step back and you determine your own values, not what others have telling you what you should value or what you think you should value, because those shoulds are imperatives in our life that come from someone else. This is determining without judgment, without haste, and without faking it, determining genuinely what are your true values. What is it that is genuinely important to you? What is it that you are genuinely committed to? And what does your life demonstrate? The fruit of your life, the truths of the fruit of your life right now. What is it showing you evidence of that you have been valuing, that you have been committed to? Right? So that's the very first step, because our assumptions of our values led us here. But as long as we keep assuming that these are our values when truthfully at the end of the day they are not, this is what leads us to develop thoughts, and thoughts leading to actions and decisions that aren't really aligned with what we genuinely are inspired to do. Right? So the first step out of this principle, to apply this principle, is really to go back towards non-judgmental of self, non-judgmental of what you heard from other people or from society, and really come from a place of, I want to have awareness. I want to be genuinely seeking of what I value, what is really truly the most important to me, regardless of what other people say. Right? So that is principle number 1. Principle number 2, perspectives of job influences feelings. So this means that the way that we perceive our jobs, the way that we perceive what we are doing in our jobs, it influences how we feel, and it influences our reaction to it. And therefore, when our reactions are influenced to the job, that's what influences our emotions. And as a result, it also goes on to influence the actions we choose to take as a result of those feelings. But the good news is that in terms of our reactions, our emotions, and then our actions, all 3 of those things can be decided on. And yes, you can decide your own reactions, you can decide therefore your subsequent feelings, and you can definitely decide what your actions are going to be as a result of it. Right? So when it comes to how do we influence that? How do we decide, how can I decide what my reaction is going to be? The principle behind what I shared earlier is our perspectives of our job. And the perspectives are influenced by what we see. And chances are, if you are currently uninspired by your job right now, chances are inside of the task of your job, the role, or maybe there's certain interactions with different people, chances are in your day-to-day, there are certain aspects of it that are highlighted as being negative, that are highlighted as being not serving you, that are highlighted as being uninspiring to you. And so the key is to rebalance those perspectives to see, okay, what are some aspects of my career path that are genuinely helping me to fulfill what's important to me? Remember in the previous step, the first principle where I shared that, the first step out of that principle is to understand and determine, what do I genuinely value out of life? What am I committed to? What is my life dedicated to? So if you can now influence perspective to see how your career path right now, what you're doing right now, how are all of those things that you're doing helping you to fulfill your values? How is it helping you to satisfy what's important to you? What are your real and meaningful objectives? How is it helping you? For example, maybe with this reflection, you might see that, well, it's giving me opportunities. It's preparing me for future opportunities. Or maybe you can see that it's helping me develop this skill set that I couldn't see before. Or maybe is it giving you access to a certain network that you didn't have access to before, right? So what is it? What are all the different ways that your current job right now is helping you to achieve what is the most important to you from what you determined before? Right? So this is moving away from what you thought were your values or that you defaultly adopted as your values, but perhaps upon reflection of determining your values without judgment, that you might see that some of the values that you do uncover are quite different from what you thought they should be. Right? So if you're somebody who's serious about, how do I go through this process? How do I increase my job satisfaction? Okay, I understand the steps, but I need some feedback. I need someone to guide me. If that is you, then I invite you to apply to my coaching program. In my executive program, this is where I help you to understand, how do you carve that inspired career path moving forward? How do you ensure that you're developing the right skills? How do you ensure that your communications are in such a way that it opens opportunities for you to take your career to the next level? So if you're serious about achieving these outcomes for yourself, and you want to keep stepping up to higher and higher levels of leadership, then I invite you to click on the first link below in the description. And that is an application form. It's just an exploratory call to talk to either myself or someone from my team to explore whether or not it is the right fit. This is where we can discuss all of the aspects of it, how we're going to be working together, and so on. So if that is you and you're serious about it, I look forward to talking to you on the inside. And let's move now to principle number 3. Principle number 3. Programming around success influences actions. Right? Your actions are influenced by your definition of success. And oftentimes, how we define success is influenced by those around us. For example, society constantly programming us to believe that the definition of success is climbing the corporate ladder, the next rung of the ladder every 3 years constantly. Or maybe it could be your peers programming you to believe that success is defined by your ability to lead a team towards completion of a project that must land or end in a promotion, right? So oftentimes our own definition of success is defined by what other people say is or should be the metric of success. And as a result of that programming, if we were to adopt that definition and not develop one of our own, then chances are we're going to be living in accordance to somebody else's definition of success. And as a result of that, our daily actions are going to be filled with activities that aren't important to us. They're going to be uninspiring to us, or they're going to put a lot of pressures on us because they are somebody else's measures of success. So if we will shift from this is about reconstructing our own definitions of success. The moment you define success for yourself on your own terms, without worrying about what other people tell us we should do, this is how you empower your career path. This is how you empower your actions. Right? So I encourage you, the 3 principles. I want to hear from you. Comment below, which one for you are you going to start with? Which one for you resonated with you the most? With the 3 principles that I shared, if you will understand them, meditate on the truths behind those principles, and apply them as well into wisdom, this is how you can create your most inspired career path. And this is towards your chief aim, your purpose in life. Now, if you want to dive deeper into that, I recently created a new video on how to design the purpose of your life. So I encourage you to watch that. The link to that video should already be appearing on the screen. Go there, and I'll see you there.